2025 Season Predictions. I'm joined by Connor Rogers and Noony. Rog, how you travelling, mate?
Yeah, I'm keen for redemption. I feel like I've been towards the bottom end of the table when it comes to prediction success the last couple of years. So Noony, I reckon, is almost a reigning defending champ. So I want to usurp the king.
Noony, how you feeling about the predictions? There's a lot of people that criticise and they take what we say out of context and they come for us, but we've backed it up another season.
As we know, those people who just pick on you, all those social media trolls, they're just below you. But this time of the year, prior to the AFL season, there's the super coaches. There's obviously looking at the preseason articles, but the biggest thing I look for this time of the year are these predictions. I absolutely love them. They bring me joy. A little shout out to the boys down at Western Heights. I'm sure you'll have a couple of them tuning in today. They are big fans of you, and yes, hopefully we can get a couple of predictions for you, boys.
All right, let's kick things off with our top four and premier for the AFL season 2025. Rog, you can go first.
Yeah, my top four in no particular order: Geelong, Brisbane, Carlton, and my premier, the GWS Giants. I think Giants are just always there and abouts, and I think if you keep making the top four, top eight consistently, it's only a matter of time before the experience falls in your favour and the big dance is yours.
So Brisbane backing up a flag by finishing top four again?
I actually thought that losing Big Joe and having to try and back up a flag would make it nearly impossible to back it up again and be in a big dance. But I actually think playing a smaller forward line, when you've got your Rainers and your Baileys and your Lomans and these type running around, I think it could actually hock ball style work for him.
My top four in a particular order is GWS, the Carlton Footy Club, Freo, and the Swans, and my premier will be the Carlton Footy Club. They've made multiple finals in a row. They've won finals in recent times. I feel like their depth's one of the best depths in the competition. They've got superstars on every line, and I think it's about time that the Blues salute.
Would be lovely. I've only been waiting 27 years, mate. I hope you're right.
Ooh, well, see, and this actually killed me right in this top four. Like same with Roger, in no particular order, but I've gone Giants, Collingwood, Hawthorn, and Geelong. Now, as a Geelong fan, that killed me putting Collingwood and Hawthorn in. I think Hawthorn are on the up, and I feel like Collingwood will get the balance back a little bit more. So I reckon they'll fluctuate between that sort of fourth and fifth role, with your mob at the D's as well.
People think that the Hawks are too young, and some critics think that the Pies are too old, but you've got them both in.
Well, I'm against the theory of too old because the Geelong boys on the flag in 22, but in my premiership winner will be, I think, the Giants too. I think after years and years of heartbreak, they might get it right this year, and I think the hunger's there.
Who's your wooden spoon for season 2025?
I think, are we all just on the same boat here? It can't be anyone but the Tigers, can it?
Do we go 3, 2, 1?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
North.
Richmond.
No, Richmond. It is Richmond.
Yeah, I've got the Tigers as well. Who do you have finishing ninth in season 2025?
The Hawthorn Hawks. I can't believe that the decision makers in the sort of dastardly gambling agencies have Hawthorn sort of premiership favourites. I think it was sort of, they've peaked at a they had that big spike up, and I think with their age demographic, they'll have a good season. Finish ninth, just miss out.
They've added some experience. You don't think that that's going to be enough to see them?
They've added two key pillars down back, but it takes years to really form that cohesion in the back line. I think those two added pieces will send them into the top four maybe next year or the year before. But in this year, bit of a teething process. They had that sugar rush last year. I think a little bit of a crash back to reality, and then they bounce back up into the top four in the next year or two.
See, I'm slightly against in the fact that with those two key pillars coming in, because they're defenders, they're a lot more easy sort of to hide and sort of get the job done. Rather, if they had two big key forwards coming in, that's where we can sort of see where things can go wrong. Hawthorn also having big Friday, Saturday night games now. They'll get all their 30, 40, 50,000 extra back when they had all the glory days. That'll get them over the line for a couple of games at the G on a Friday night, potentially.
They've got a hard fixture, and I think their forward line lacks a little bit. I think they've got some of the best small forwards in the comp. But key position, I think Kel Shadir is going to be a star, and Marbiel Chol is one of my favourites to watch, but it's not bona fide superstars, key pillars. Just yet.
I think that Hockball took over the season last year, and you'll see trends pop up, things take off, but then they get figured out. So I think teams have had a whole preseason to figure it out. So we'll see if they do make the top 4. Good luck to them, but I don't think so.
Now, I hope I don't get too much hate for this because they're one of my second favourite sides in the competition. But I think 9th, I think the Pies will just miss out. I think you can throw a blanket over 5th to 14th. And when I was trying to shuffle the teams around, that's just how it landed. I had the Pies finishing 9th, which is an improvement on last season. So if anything, I'm being positive about the Collingwood Football Club.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a bit fearful of what the Magpie Army how they might retaliate.
Do
you blame the bloke?
I chucked him in 18th one year, and I think they made a prelim, and boy, did I cop it. But I like what the Pies are doing. I just don't, when I shuffled the mix, I had them finishing 9th.
I've got Carlton finishing 9th.
What on earth, Noony?
Why I am saying that, I think obviously a little bit of a shaky start with injuries already occurring, a little bit with Sam Walsh and stuff like that, and touch wood, because I really like the guy as a player, but I think Cripper gets hurt this year.
What on earth? You can't say that.
I'm saying it.
You're flat out.
No. I genuinely think something like that's going to happen because there's only so much that man can do.
No, Cripper.
He's going to have a slit disc. He's going to have a sore knee. Something's going to go wrong. He's been carrying for a long time. Something along those lines.
I can't believe.
Sciatic nerve pain.
For the last 2 years, Carlton have shown those glimpses to do something big, and they haven't done it.
Just meant to be.
And that's why I think this year, I just think all the hope and the pressure, it's going to be too much. And bow out.
Just meant to be a nice sort of friendly prediction video. It's just meant to be a who's finished 9th, and all of a sudden Crip is out for the season.
The Brownlow medal / Coleman medal.
I was so reluctant to do this because I don't want to be seen as the biased bagger, but Cripper had 45 votes last season, and he's only getting better. He just keeps on improving year on year. So
unless he gets injured.
So I think Cripper and I think Carlton are going to win more games than we did last year. So I think logic tells me you'd be silly not to be on the Cripper bandwagon. And then you're talking about the Coleman. You talk about a 2-time winner before injury interrupted season last year, and now he's fully fit. I think it's Charlie Curnow time, baby. I think he's back again.
Do you say Charlie?
Charlie, yeah, Cripper and Charlie.
He's still hobbling around, and it's mid-Feb.
Nah, he's you look at a man who's climbed the mountain twice before. He was neck and neck with Jesse Hogan before he did his ankle. So I think when he's fully fit, I like that they're saving him in the preseason. They're not running around too hard. They're like, let's just save him for the real stuff.
I always tend to go a little bit different with the Brownlow and the Coleman. I tipped Jesse Hogan last year, and that was an unbelievable get by C. McDonald. And my Coleman medal is Jesse Hogan.
Ooh, proud of you.
So I'm going to go a little bit rogue this year. I think Freo, if they are making the top 4, it'll be instrumental that their midfield gets firing. So I'm going to tip Caleb Sarong. He's going to have a Lockie Neal style season. He's in and under. I love how that man plays. So I'm going to tip Caleb Sarong for the Brownlow. And I'm going to tip the big Suv, the big Nick Suvalaki to win the Coleman.
Yeah, do you think North is sort of going to be prominent enough and kick enough goals for Nick Larkey to feature at the pointy end of the Coleman tally?
I don't actually have the official stats, but it feels like he's always in and around the top 5 or 6 every season, and they're down the bottom. So I feel like if they win 7 or 8 games, they get a little bit of North ball going, Sheasel delivers it into the man playing midfield. I feel like he could kick 50, 60.
Also got Jack Darling there to take a bit of pressure off him as well with key defenders.
I suppose Fev did win the Coleman when we won the Wooden Spoon, so it is possible to, with the bottom 4 team, go on and win the Charlie.
Back in the big Suva
in. I should say.
I think after all the bit of the backlash from the Brownlow, I think that almost behind the scenes there's going to be something going on where Cripper actually doesn't win the Brownlow with 65 votes this year. So I'm thinking Bont will finally get his deserved Brownlow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I am going back to back for Jesse Hogan to win the Coleman. I feel like the Coleman are one of those awards where they come in sort of blocks of who they are. Curnow's won a couple. Now I believe obviously it's time for Jesse Hogan with the way the Giants are delivering that ball inside 50 at that quick pace of game.
It's a pretty cool forward line.
Oh, it's so cool. Really excited to watch
Toby Green, Darcy Jones, Cadman, Hogan, Stringer.
It's got it all.
Brent Daniels.
All bases covered.
Yeah, very good. Very good forward line. Who are we tipping for the rising star this season?
Now, I promise I'm not biased. I promise that I'm not. I don't think I've looked at this through a one-eyed lens. I think I've taken an objective view to it, and I think that it's Jagger Smith to lose.
Well, you promised that you weren't biased, and I promised that I'm not copying your homework, but I really like the look of Jagger Smith. He played some VFL last year for the Tigers. I think he had a 30-piece and maybe a snag, so he's ready to take on adult bodies in the top league of AFL. So I'm excited to see Jagger Smith win the Rising Star this season.
Shout.
I'm going a little bit of left field one, and I always do for this one because I feel like it's like throwing a dart at the dartboard. You never know when you're going to get in the Rising Star. I'm going Sid Draper.
Nice.
And purely based on the fact that around sort of the trade time, he's a ball magnet and a ball winner, and I feel like in the Rising Star Award, sometimes the actual stats play a key role in who gets it because they actually look at the stats rather than votes.
I remember at the draft, when it was draft time and I was just going through the highlights, I was most excited by Draper's highlights. I thought that he was the one that really got me up and about. So I back that in, Noony.
Who will make their All-Australian debut?
I think it's a man who's been in and around the squad. He's about to explode. The former pick number 1, Cam Rayner. The added responsibility, now that Big Joe's gone, they need some more goals, and he's got that almost... Brad Johnson, he could almost be that smaller, undersized sort of key with his marking ability, goals, Dustin Martin style. I think Cam Rayner breaks into the All-Australian team and has a massive season.
People get impatient with someone like Cam Rayner, Petrarca, De Goey, but Cam Rayner has never had, or that I can remember, like really poor seasons. He's slowly but surely progressed every season. He's been a contributor for so long, and I don't think it would take that much of a percent difference for him to go to that next level.
I agree.
My All-Australian debut is going to be Harry Sheezel. He averaged some of the most touches last season, and for half the season he was in the coldface. So I think a full year in the midfield for North Melbourne, I think they're going to find it hard to deny our man the Shees.
It's a big call. I like it, but it's a big call because you're saying that he's going to take the spot of a Cripps, a Bontempelli, a Heaney.
Maybe not take over, but there's always an interchange spot where, you know, a Libba, a Treloar, like someone who is an A grade, but maybe A minus, like he's not top of the food chain. So I think Harry Sheezel, his stats were almost undeniable last year. He was very stiff to... Did he even make the squad? I'm not even sure he made the squad. But
I think he was in the initial squad, but with the All-Australian each year, you just never know what positions are going to have what players in.
They'll probably have him in the ruck, given the way they selected. But our man the Shees, he will crack into the AA.
Mine was weighted between two, and I'm going to go with Isaac Rankin this year in a forward position role, I believe. Even if he does play 99% of the season in the midfield, there's always that forward pocket position for him. So I believe he's going to have a bit of even more of a breakout year at Adelaide, and he will sneak in the forward line.
There is so much noise around Rankin. So much noise. It's like you listen to a Fireball Friday, whatever it may be. Everyone seems to think Isaac Rankin is primed to explode and really catapult Adelaide. So there's a bit of pressure on the man. It seems like it's all on his shoulders over there.
I love Isaac Rankin, but I swear every 8 weeks he does something to his hammy. So I just want him to be fit and healthy for the year, because when he is, as you said, Noon, he's one of the best players in the comp.
I want all the good players to be fit and healthy, unlike Noon, who hopes the 2-time Brownlow medalist does an ACL.
I did say touch wood, and I know we're sitting on this beautiful couch, but there's wood in there somewhere.
All right, now we get into the quick fire round, some short and sharp predictions. Quite fun last year when we did this.
Yeah, they were.
Quick fire round, it'll go Rog, me, Noon, and we'll stay in that order. Player to gain the most Instagram followers.
Tom Mitchell, ball magnet's about to explode.
Isaac Kaku.
Riley Sanders.
Team who slides the most.
Bombers and St Kilda.
Western Bulldogs.
Brisbane.
Team who rises the most.
The Demons, baby.
Go the D's. Dockers.
I second the D's too.
Come on, D's. Go Petrarca. Aiden Johnson, get the mids out, son. Best recruit.
Shea Bolton wins their best and fairest.
Jack McRae.
Sexy Baslenka.
Player most likely to retire.
I thought he retired 7 years ago. He's still running around. Todd Goldstein.
Mason Cox.
Mitchie Duncan.
Nice. Beautiful. All right, lads, that is the season predictions for 2025. We've locked it in. It's now out in the ether, and there's not much we can do about it now.
And we can't wait to hear all the feedback from all your fans out there. And at the end of the day, whether it's negative or positive, more so negative, We don't really care.
I'm already looking forward to the Saints fan TV edit they make up when they're 5-0, and I can't wait to return serve when they lose the next 10.
Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to drop your predictions in the comments down below, and we'll see you for some more content very, very soon. Cheers.
Thank you.